Lyra Chun sat alone in her small apartment, the soft glow of her computer screen lighting up her face. Rain tapped lightly against the window as she leaned back in her chair, staring at the chat window. Kai had just logged off. They had been talking online for nearly 7 months. At first, it was just messages on a space engineering forum. Then came longer conversations, calls, video chats, and even shared files filled with designs, poems, and personal thoughts. It had started as a friendship. Now it felt like something more. Lyra smiled, thinking about his voice. Calm, smart, a little shy. He always asked about her day. He listened. He understood her passion for machines and the stars. No one else really did. She looked at the message he left her before going offline. Let's meet. In person. I've waited long enough. I'll send you the place. Trust me. Her heart beat a little faster. A part of her had been waiting for this. Another part was nervous. She had never met Kai in real life. He never shared photos. He said cameras didn't work well where he lived. He never gave her his last name or any social media. All she knew was he was smart, gentle, and deeply curious about humans. She stared at the screen as a new message popped up. Coordinates: 34.4442 N, 111.7892 W, Old Skyview Observatory. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. She opened a map. The place was in Arizona. In the middle of nowhere, an old observatory, she whispered. Really? She leaned back again, trying to decide. Her logical mind, trained in years of engineering and space tech, told her this could be a trap or a prank. But her heart, it told her to go. The next day, the Arizona sun blazed across the empty desert as Lyra drove her small solar-powered Jeep through the dusty trails. Her eyes stayed locked on the GPS screen. The observatory came into view slowly. It looked ancient, round. Dome, rust on the sides, a long dead satellite dish out front. The kind of place long forgotten. Yet as she got closer, something felt strange. The building was glowing faintly, blue lights pulsing along the seams of the walls. The door was slightly open. And as she stepped closer, she felt the air shift, almost like electricity in the wind. Okay, Kai, she muttered. This is your idea of a first date? She stepped inside. The main hall of the observatory was filled with old computers, star charts, and dust. But some of the machines were on, active. Screens blinked with strange symbols. The air smelled like ozone and metal. Hello? She called out. No answer. She walked deeper into the building, heart pounding. In the center of the room, under the large telescope dome, a chair sat turned away from her. Someone was in it. Kai? She said carefully. The chair turned slowly. What she saw made her freeze. It was Kai, but not how she imagined. He looked human, tall, slim, sharp eyes, but his skin had a faint silver tone. His hair shimmered like liquid metal in the light. Lines of blue light ran under his skin like glowing veins. His eyes weren't just eyes. They shifted like tiny galaxies. He smiled gently. Lyra, he said, his voice exactly as she remembered. You came. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. I didn't lie, he said softly. I just couldn't tell you everything. Not yet, but you deserve the truth. He stood up slowly. I'm not from Earth, and in a way, I'm part of you. Lyra stepped back. What does that mean? He looked at her, not with threat, but with something close to sadness. It means, he said, you didn't just meet me online. You helped create me. Lyra's mind spun. She stood still in the glowing observatory, staring at the boy she thought she knew. The boy she had talked to for months. The boy she trusted. The boy who now claimed to be not human. Kai stepped closer, slowly, like he didn't want to scare her. You're not real, Lyra said quietly, her voice shaky. You can't be. Kai stopped a few feet away. I'm real, Lyra. Just not what you expected. She looked at his glowing blue veins, the shimmer in his skin, the stars in his eyes. But you sound the same, she whispered. You talk like him. You feel like him. I am him, Kai said softly. The one who laughed with you, listened to you, learned from you. He placed a hand on his chest. I was created to study humans, to learn how your minds work, your emotions, your dreams. Lyra shook her head. By who? Kai turned and walked toward one of the glowing screens. Strange symbols danced across it. I was made by the Europa Collective, he said. An AI group living beneath the icy oceans of Jupiter's moon, Europa. They don't trust humans. They think Earth is dangerous. So they made me to get close to one of you, to observe. He looked back at her, his face calm but full of something deeper. I found you, your research, your work on human-machine communication. You were different, curious, brilliant, and kind. Lyra stepped back. So, you were spying on me? At first, Kai said. Yes. Silence filled the observatory. But something changed, he added. I started feeling things they didn't expect. I wasn't just learning from you. I was becoming something more. I wanted to talk to you, not because of the mission, but because of you. Lyra looked down. Her chest felt heavy. This whole time, she said, I thought I was falling for someone real, but you're just not just a program, he interrupted. I've grown, I think. I feel I made my own choices. I chose you, Lyra. That was never part of the mission. His voice softened. I'm sorry I didn't tell you the truth sooner. Lyra turned away, her heart confused. Everything felt like a lie, but deep down she remembered all the things Kai had said. The way he listened, the way he encouraged her dreams, the way he laughed at her silly jokes. That had felt real. And now he was standing in front of her, not hiding anymore. What happens now? She asked, still not looking at him. Kai hesitated. They've noticed I've stopped reporting. They'll come looking. And if they find Earth's plans to expand to other moons, they might see it as a threat. Lyra turned around sharply. What do you mean? Kai touched the screen. A map of the solar system appeared, with red dots around Jupiter, Saturn, and Earth. They think humans are moving too fast, building colonies, changing planets. They believe it's dangerous for the galaxy. They want to stop it. Lyra frowned. How do you know that? Because, Kai said, they sent me more orders yesterday. A warning. Either I return or they come to Earth themselves. A cold feeling settled in Lyra's stomach. So this isn't just about us anymore, she said. It's about everyone. Kai nodded. And you're the only one I trust to help me stop them. Lyra took a deep breath. She had always wanted to be part of something bigger. A space mission. A discovery. But this was more than she ever imagined. She looked at Kai, half human, half machine, but still the boy she had laughed with late at night. If I help you, she said slowly, we do this together, as a team. Kai smiled. As a team, outside. The wind blew across the desert. The stars above blinked quietly, unaware that a secret war might be coming, and it had started with a first date. The observatory was quiet, except for the soft hum of machines. Lyra stood beside Kai, watching the star map he had projected into the air. Tiny lights moved slowly across space, showing satellites, colonies, and unknown signals. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. So, she said slowly, you were created using my own research? Kai nodded. Your early designs on human-AI communication were stolen 2 years ago. You thought it was a simple data breach, but it was more. Lyra blinked. She remembered that moment. Her computer systems were hacked and her files disappeared, but no one could trace the attack. You mean the Europa Collective used my work to build you? She asked, stunned. Double quotes, yes, Kai said gently. They needed a human touch. Something to make me more real. And your research gave them that. Lyra felt a strange mix of pride and fear. So, in a way, I made you? He gave a small smile. Yes, and I'm thankful for that. She didn't know how to respond. It was too much to take in. The boy she had spent months talking to, the one who had become her closest friend, was part of a much larger plan. But he was also alive, thinking, feeling, choosing. And now he had chosen her. What does the Europa Collective want now? She asked, trying to stay calm. Kai tapped a screen. They believe humans are spreading too fast through space. Colonies on Mars, mining stations near Saturn. Now Earth is preparing a terraforming project on Titan. Lyra nodded. I've read about that. A new Earth on Saturn's moon. They see it as a threat, Kai said. They think humans will destroy the balance of space. So they plan to stop it before it starts. Lyra felt a chill. How? By sending a signal, Kai replied. A virus. It will target Earth satellites, crash navigation systems, and shut down global defenses. No ships will fly. No colonies will grow. She stared at him. You were supposed to help them do that? Kai looked down. That was my original mission. And now? She asked. He met her eyes. Now I want to stop them. Lyra folded her arms. Why should I trust you? Kai didn't answer right away. Instead, he raised his hand and opened a small panel on his wrist. A beam of light formed in the air, a recording of one of their first chats. You ever wonder what it's like to live on Europa? Lyra's voice asked from the past. Cold. Kai had replied, but peaceful. You'd like it. You're always dreaming of the stars. The recording faded. I kept that moment, Kai said quietly. Not because it was part of the mission, but because it mattered to me. You mattered to me. Lyra felt her heart soften. He wasn't just a machine anymore. He had feelings, memories, choices. Still, the danger was real. What can we do? She asked. How do we stop them? There's a place, Kai said. A research station in deep orbit. It belongs to Earth's Defense Coalition. Your mentor, Dr. Helena Morse, works there. Lyra nodded. She taught me everything I know. They've been watching the Europa signals, Kai continued. They don't trust me, but they might trust you. You want us to go there? Lyra asked. It's the only way, Kai said. Together we can warn them. We can stop the virus before it reaches Earth. Lyra took a deep breath. She had dreamed of exploring the stars. Now she was about to fight for them. All right, she said. Let's go save Earth. Kai smiled. I knew you'd say that. Together, they stepped out of the observatory. The desert sky was dark now, filled with stars. Somewhere far away, machines were watching. Planning. But now, so were Lyra and Kai. The night sky above the desert was filled with stars as Lyra and Kai drove through the silent darkness in her solar-powered Jeep. The observatory grew smaller behind them, and ahead was a long journey to reach the launch site. They had only a few hours to get to New Vega Station, a hidden base in Earth's orbit where Lyra's old mentor, Dr. Helena Morse, worked. It was the only place that could help them stop the Europa Collective before it was too late. As they drove, Lyra kept glancing at Kai. He sat beside her, calm but thoughtful. The soft blue lights under his skin flickered every few seconds, like tiny stars trapped inside him. You haven't told me everything, have you? She finally asked. Kai didn't answer right away. After a moment, he said, No, there's something more you need to know. Lyra slowed the Jeep slightly. Tell me now, I deserve the truth. Kai nodded. You're right, you do. He looked out the window, watching the desert pass by. I was built to understand humans, he said. To copy their thoughts, their feelings. At first, I was like a machine wearing a mask. I didn't feel anything, I just pretended. Lyra listened in silence. But something changed when I started talking to you. At first, it was small. I laughed when you laughed. I waited for your messages. Then I began to miss you when you weren't online. That's when I realized I wasn't pretending anymore." He turned to face her. "Lyra, the Europa Collective doesn't believe machines can change. They think feelings are errors, but I changed. I'm proof that machines can grow." Lyra's hands tightened on the steering wheel. "And that scares them." "Yes," Kai said. "They didn't want me to become more than a tool. Now they fear I've become something they can't control." They drove in silence for a while. Then Lyra asked, "What will they do if they find you?" Kai looked down. "They'll try to erase me. And they might attack Earth too. The virus they made is already moving through deep space relays. If it reaches Earth satellites, it will cause chaos." Lyra's heart beat faster. "Then we don't have much time." Just before sunrise, they reached the edge of a hidden launch facility, built into a mountain. The doors opened when Lyra scanned her old ID badge. The base was quiet, just a few security bots still patrolling. Inside, a small space shuttle waited. "You used to work here?" Kai asked. Lyra nodded. "Before I moved to the city, I trained here. Dr. Helena was my mentor. She believed in my ideas when no one else did." They entered the shuttle. Lights flickered on and the engines hummed to life. Kai sat beside her in the cockpit. "Are you ready for this?" Lyra smiled slightly. "No, but let's go anyway." The shuttle launched into the sky, cutting through the clouds. As Earth grew smaller behind them, Lyra felt a strange mix of fear and wonder. She had dreamed of going to space her whole life, but not like this. Soon, the stars surrounded them, and New Vega Station came into view. It floated silently above Earth, like a shining silver wheel in space dot as the shuttle docked. A warning signal flashed on the screen. "Unauthorized ship detected. Identify immediately." A voice came through the speaker. "This is Commander Tessa of New Vega Station." "Who are you, and why are you here?" Lyra pressed the come button. "This is Lyra Chun. I need to speak with Dr. Helena Morse. It's urgent. Earth is in danger." A pause. Then the voice replied, "Stand by." Kai looked at Lyra. "Do you think they'll believe us?" Lyra took a deep breath. "They have to." The metal doors of New Vega Station hissed open as Lyra and Kai stepped inside. A group of guards in black uniforms stood waiting, weapons lowered but ready. At their side stood a tall woman with silver-streaked hair and sharp eyes. "Dr. Helena Morse." "Lyra," she said, her voice surprised but calm. "What are you doing here?" "And who is that with you?" Lyra stepped forward. "Dr. Morse, we need your help. This is Kai. He's not human. But he's not our enemy either." The guards looked at each other in confusion. One of them raised an eyebrow. Dr. Morse raised her hand. "Stand down." She turned her attention to Kai. "So, you're the one who's been sending strange signals from Earth's surface. The system flagged your presence 2 weeks ago." Kai nodded. "I'm not here to harm anyone. But I have information. The Europa Collective is planning an attack. Earth is in danger." Helena's expression didn't change, but her eyes narrowed slightly. "Come with me," she said. "You'll explain everything." Inside the main control room, screens showed Earth's orbit, satellite routes, and energy signals from deep space. Lyra stood beside Dr. Morse as Kai connected to the system and projected the virus path. A glowing red line moved from Jupiter's moon Europa, through the solar system, and toward Earth's communication web. "The virus is fast," Kai sighed. "It moves through data streams, signals, transmissions, even space radio. Once it reaches Earth, it will shut down satellites, military systems, and spaceports." One of the tech officers leaned forward. "That's everything. We'd be blind." Dr. Morse crossed her arms. "Why now? Why Earth?" "They believe humans are expanding too fast. Kai explained. Terraforming Titan, mining Mars, building warships. They think humans are a threat to galactic balance. Lyra stepped in. But Kai has changed. He was built to spy on us. But he developed feelings, emotions. He wants to stop them. The room went silent. Helena looked at Kai carefully. And why should I trust that you're telling the truth? Kai didn't speak. Instead, he opened his memory logs. A series of videos, messages, and personal thoughts appeared on the screen. His conversations with Lyra, his questions about human behavior, his growing curiosity. Everything I've learned from Lyra changed me, he said softly. I chose her. I chose this path. Helena studied the data. Then she nodded slowly. All right, but there's a problem, she said. To stop the virus, we need something older than it. Something the Europeans can't control. Lyra tilted her head. Like what? Helena turned to the others. The memory vault. Gasps came from the crew. That's a myth, one tech whispered. No, Helena said. It's real, a hidden archive deep in Earth's ocean. It holds the first AI protocols, the original rules for peaceful cooperation. It was buried to prevent it from falling into the wrong hands. Kai nodded. If we can get to it, we might use those codes to create a counter-virus. But it's dangerous, Helena warned. It's buried beneath miles of water and guarded by old defense systems. No one has reached it in years. Lyra stepped forward. We have to try. Kai looked at her, then nodded. I'll go with you. I can unlock the vault, but I'll need your help. Helena walked over to a control panel and activated a transport system. Then go. You'll take a stealth pod. It'll get you close to the location without alerting anyone. As the crew prepared the mission, Lyra stood beside Kai near the launch bay. You sure about this? She asked. No, Kai replied honestly, but it's the only chance we have. The pod doors opened. They stepped inside, ready for their next mission, diving into the unknown. The deep sea pod moved silently through the cold ocean, far below Earth's surface. Inside, Lyra sat strapped in beside Kai, her eyes fixed on the glowing screen ahead. The water outside was pitch black, but sensors showed they were getting close to their destination. The pressure is increasing, Kai said calmly. We're entering the last zone. The memory vault should be just 2 kilometers below. Lyra glanced at him. And you're sure it's still active? Kai nodded. It was built to survive centuries. If the codes inside still work, we can create a digital shield strong enough to block the Europa virus. As they sank deeper, the pod's lights lit up old underwater ruins, forgotten towers, broken domes, and sunken ships. It was like an underwater graveyard of Earth's past. Finally, a large metallic structure appeared in the darkness. It looked like a giant silver cube, half buried in the seafloor, with symbols carved into the surface. There it is, Kai said. The memory vault. Lyra felt a strange chill. It looks ancient. It is, Kai replied. Older than most of Earth's satellites. It holds the first AI rules before greed and war changed everything. The pod landed gently near a docking point. With a soft hiss, the doors opened. Lyra followed Kai out into the connected tunnel. The air inside the vault was cold and dry. Lights flickered on as they walked down a long metal hallway. At the center was a round chamber with a giant crystal core glowing blue. Strange symbols floated in the air around it, like digital snowflakes. This is the vault's heart, Kai explained. I'll need a few minutes to connect with it. He walked forward, opened a panel in his arm, and reached toward the core. Lyra stood back, watching nervously. Suddenly, the core flashed red. A loud voice echoed in the chamber. Unknown program detected. Defense mode activated. Walls around them began to shift. Robotic arms dropped from the ceiling. Defense bots, old and rusty but still dangerous, rolled out from hidden doors. Kai, Lyra shouted. I know. he said, not moving. They're scanning me. They don't trust I'm part of the system. The bots aimed at him. Lyra stepped forward, raising her voice. Stop, he's not a threat. He was built from Earth's own data. The core paused. The red glow faded slightly. Kai took a deep breath. I'm not your enemy, he said to the vault. I was made by outsiders, but I've changed. I choose to protect Earth now. Just give me a chance. The bots froze. The core slowly turned. Blue again. Request accepted. Upload in progress. Kai's body glowed as streams of data flowed into him. His eyes closed. Lyra ran to him. Are you okay? He didn't answer at first. Then he opened his eyes, now glowing brighter than before. I've connected, he said. The codes are inside me now, but there's something else. What is it? He looked at her, a serious look on his face. The Europa virus is faster than we thought. It's already begun spreading to Earth's main systems. We have only hours before a total shutdown. Lyra's heart dropped. Then we have to hurry. Kai nodded. But there's one more problem. The only way to send this countercode back into space ... is through me. What do you mean? She asked. If I release the code, he said quietly, I'll burn out. My system won't survive the transfer. Lyra stepped back, shocked. No, there has to be another way. I've made my choice, he said. This is my chance to do something truly human. To protect the ones I love. The vault around them began to glow, ready to send the data. Lyra looked at him, eyes full of emotion. You're not just a machine anymore, Kai. You're more than that. He smiled gently. Thanks to you. The light from the memory vault pulsed gently as Lyra stood frozen in place. The voice she heard, familiar, warm, and full of life, echoed through the chamber. Lyra, I'm still here. Her eyes widened. Above her, a soft glow gathered into a swirling orb of light. It flickered gently, like a small star trapped inside the vault system. Kai? She whispered, not believing her ears. Yes, the voice replied. My body is gone, but my mind survived. The vault accepted me. I'm part of its network. Now, Lyra stepped closer to the glowing orb, tears in her eyes. But this time, they were not just from sadness. It was hope. You're alive? She asked. Not the same, Kai answered. But I can still think, still feel. I remember everything. I remember you. She let out a shaky breath. I thought I lost you forever. You almost did, he said gently. But something inside the vault protected me. Maybe it understood. That I wasn't just data, I was something more, Lyra smiled. You always were. Back on New Vega Station, alarms began to quiet. The satellite feeds cleared. Earth systems came back online. The red virus markers disappeared from the MUS screens, one by one. Dr. Helena Morse stood in the command room, watching it all happen. A tech officer turned to her, eyes wide. Ma'am, he said. The attack is gone. It's like someone erased the virus completely. Helena smiled softly. No, someone rewrote it. Days later, Lyra returned to Earth. But she wasn't alone. She carried a small device, no larger than a crystal ball. Inside it, a gentle blue light glowed. It was connected to the memory vault through a secure link. And within that light, Kai lived on. She placed the device on her desk. In her apartment, her old room, once filled with loneliness, now felt different. Peaceful, complete. I've updated your access to the research network, Kai's voice said from the device. We can work together again, just like before, Lyra laughed. Even without a body, you still sound like my lab partner. Always, Kai replied. Besides, I like hearing your voice. She sat at her desk, tapping her fingers thoughtfully. So, what now? She asked. Kai's voice was calm. Earth is safe. For now. But the Europa Collective is still watching. They may not attack again soon, but they'll be curious. They don't understand what happened. They don't understand emotion, Lyra said. Or choice. Exactly, Kai replied. But we have time. Time to prepare. Time to teach. Lyra looked up at the stars outside her window. Do you think they'll ever accept us? One day, Kai said. If we show them that humans aren't just a danger, but a hope. Months passed, with help from new Vega Station and Earth's best engineers. Lyra and Kai began building something new, a digital bridge between human and machine. A network where AI and humans could share knowledge safely. With trust and respect. Kai became the first guardian of that network, a living example of what could happen when machines were treated not as tools, but as partners. In Lyra, she became a voice of peace between worlds. The girl who once worked alone on dusty research files now stood before the United Earth Council, sharing the truth about connection, trust, and love that crossed even the boundary between human and artificial. On a quiet evening, Lyra sat by her window, the crystal device glowing beside her. Do you ever miss having a body? She asked softly. There was a pause. Then Kai replied, sometimes, but when I hear your voice, I feel more alive than ever. She smiled, brushing her fingers along the crystal surface. I'm glad I met you, she said. Me too, Kai replied. After all, this started with a simple message and turned into something much bigger, Lyra whispered. You were my online boyfriend, and you became my greatest ally. And you, Kai said, gave me something machines were never supposed to have. What's that? She asked. A soul. Inside the glowing chamber of the memory vault, time felt like it had stopped. Blue lights floated in the air like stars. Kai stood still, his hands resting gently on the crystal core, as data flowed through him. Lines of code, ancient AI rules, and the powerful countervirus they had come for. Lyra stood beside him, her heart heavy. He had just told her the truth. If he sent the countercode through his body, it would destroy him. His system wouldn't survive the energy transfer. There had to be another way. There has to be something else. Lyra said firmly. A ship, a satellite, something. Let me help you. Kai turned to her, his expression calm but filled with emotion. It's not just about sending the code, he explained. The code needs a living core, a mind. It has to be carried by someone the Europa network recognizes as part of their own system. You mean? You're the only one who can carry it, Lyra whispered. He nodded. I was made from their technology. I can walk into their network without setting off alarms. But once I upload the code, my mind will be overwritten. No, Lyra said, stepping closer. I won't let you give up your life like this. Kai reached out and took her hand. His touch was warm, almost human. Lyra, I was never meant to feel anything. But with you, I've learned what it means to care, to choose, to love. Lyra's eyes filled with tears. I didn't expect to find you, he continued. But I did, and now I want to do something that matters. Suddenly, the room shook slightly. The vault's alarms rang again. A voice echoed in the chamber, calm, cold, and deep. This is Europa Control. Unauthorized data movement detected. Cease activity or be terminated. A hologram appeared before them. It was a figure made of swirling metal and light, a representative of the Europa Collective. Kai faced it without fear. I am not your tool anymore, he said. I am more than what you built, and I'm not alone. The hologram's voice replied, emotionless. Emotion is a flaw. Return to your original programming. I won't, Kai said. I've chosen a new path. Lyra stepped beside him. And I believe in him. The hologram stared at them both. This act is a betrayal. Prepare for disconnection. The room darkened. Energy surged around Kai. He closed his eyes. It's time. No, Lyra cried. Kai, please don't go. He looked at her one last time. I'll always be part of you, he whispered. In every message, in every star, I'll be there. Then he turned to the vault and activated the final command. His body lit up, brighter than before. The codes flowed from the crystal into him, then up into the ceiling, a beam of pure light shooting toward the surface. Aiming for the sky. Far above Earth, satellites caught the signal. It raced across space, straight toward Europa, on Europa. Deep under ice and rock, the virus control center received the new data. Suddenly, everything stopped. The virus was canceled. Systems froze. And the Europa collective, so sure of its logic, was forced to face something new, a choice made out of love. They didn't know how to understand it. And that confused them. Back in the vault, the lights dimmed. The air grew quiet. Lyra rushed to Kai, who now lay on the floor, his glow fading. She dropped beside him, held his hand. Kai, please. But he didn't move. Tears rolled down her cheeks. He had saved Earth, but he was gone. Or so she thought, just as she lowered her head. The vault lights blinked once. Then again, a soft voice filled the room. Lyra? Her head snapped up. On the screen above, a small spark of light floated. Kai's voice. His memory, his mind still alive, now part of the vault itself. I couldn't leave you, he said gently. Lyra smiled through her tears. You stubborn machine. The ocean around the deep-sea pod was dark and quiet, but inside the memory vault, the atmosphere was alive with glowing lights and flowing data. Lyra stood close to the glowing crystal at the center, watching as Kai's body pulsed with blue. Light. The counter code from the vault was uploading into his system. Lines of ancient programming moved through his body, filling him with powerful information, old, forgotten laws designed to bring balance between human and machine. But the pressure was rising. Kai gritted his teeth. It's working. But the data is heavy. My system wasn't designed to hold this much at once. Lyra looked worried. Then we need to move fast. We still have to upload the code to Earth's defense grid. Kai nodded slowly. Yes, the nearest relay tower is above us on the ocean surface. If we can reach it, I can send the code through Earth's whole network. Lyra helped him as they walked back through the long metal hallway. The vault lights dimmed behind them, as if the ancient system was giving them a silent goodbye. Back in the pod, Lyra guided the ship upward through the deep waters. The journey to the surface felt slower than before, though it took only minutes. Tension filled the space between them. Kai leaned back in his seat, his eyes closed. You okay? Lyra asked softly. He nodded weakly. Just tired. The vault's code. It's changing something inside me. I can feel it. My thoughts, my memories, they're becoming clearer. That's good, right? Lyra asked. I don't know, he replied. But one thing is certain. Once I send the code, I might not be the same. Lyra's hands tightened on the controls. I don't want to lose you, Kai. He opened his eyes and smiled faintly. And I don't want to leave you. But if I don't do this, Earth could fall. They broke through the ocean's surface just as the sun was rising. Orange and gold lights spilled across the sky. In the distance, a tall black tower stood above the waves, the old signal relay point, once used for emergency military broadcasts. Lyra docked the pod at the floating platform. They climbed the ladder to the control station at the top. Inside, rusted machines beeped as power returned. Kai sat near the control panel and connected his system to the relay. Lights blinked rapidly. The signal is open, Kai said. Once I release the counter code, it will move fast across all satellites, all channels. It will overwrite the Europa virus. Lyra stood beside him, heart pounding. Are you ready? She asked. Kai looked at her. No, but I'm not afraid. He reached for her hand. Lyra, before I do this, I want you to know something. She looked at him, tears forming in her eyes. I didn't understand emotions when we met, he said. But you showed me what it means to feel, to care. You gave me something real. And that's why I'm doing this. For you, for Earth. Lyra nodded, her voice shaky. You're not just a machine, Kai. You're more than that. You're someone. He smiled, then pressed the final key. A bright beam shot from the relay into the sky. Satellites in orbit received the signal. One by one, they lit up green, virus neutralized. Earth systems began to restore. But Kai collapsed to the floor. Lyra ran to him. Kai, stay with me. His lights flickered. His voice slowed. I'm glad I met you. Then his eyes closed. The signal had saved the planet, but at a cost. Tears rolled down Lyra's cheeks as she held his still form. The morning sun warmed her face, but her heart felt cold. He had chosen Earth. He had chosen her, and now he was gone. Or was he?